finally opened Henri's Starlite Scoops, and it's been a long time coming. We were supposed to do a soft opening last March 18th and do our ribbon cutting on March 24th, but as we all know, the pandemic got in the way and had a lot of other, threw a lot of things a monkey wrench into it. So today, we're so excited to finally do it. And there's so many things why the Starlite Scoops theme, why a space theme. Well, as you know, Henri was the general manager of the Starlite Hotel over in Cocoa Beach during those early pioneering space days. That's how he met all the original Mercury astronauts and Walter Cronkite, Art Lovell, and of course then Clemens Wilson. And if he hadn't been the general manager of that property, he never would have become a Holiday Inn franchisee and had the opportunity to open up a Holiday Inn named Davies. So everything happens for a reason. And all of those things led to this moment where we can celebrate Henri's spirit of generosity and compassion and curiosity with this amazing place. And there's so many wonderful people to thank for this. This was a dream for a number of years. Started about 5 years ago, we started the concept, because ice cream has played such a huge part at Give Kids the World. We have ice cream from 7:30 in the morning until 9:30 at night. So ice cream for breakfast is part of the tradition here at the Village. And we maintained that even though we tore down our beloved ice cream palace to make room for Henri Starlite Scoops, we kept serving it in the gingerbread house, which was wonderful. But we came up with an idea. We wanted to find a way to celebrate Henri's life and his legacy. And I'll never forget the day that I drove up to Jacksonville and unveiled the plans for Henri's Starlite Scoops, and to see the twinkle in his eye, and I was so excited because I think if anybody in the world, Henri loved his ice cream. So we're so excited. There were so many partners, and I'm going to read the list, and I hope I don't leave anybody out, but it was a true labor of love. And really the first time that we're very excited that Walt Disney World and Universal came together and partnered on a project. And I think that's amazing. And I think it's a testament to their belief that it's anything for the kids. We put all of our competitiveness and differences aside and come together to make something very special for the kids. So I want to just recognize the folks that we have here that were a huge part of this. And at the end, when we're all finished and we have the ribbon cutting, I would like, if there's a representative from each one of these folks that I mentioned, please come up and help do the ribbon cutting. First, Walt Disney Imagineering for the original design concept. Universal Creative for all of the creative input every step of the way. AECOM for the architectural, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. BVCC was the general contractor of this, Buena Vista Construction Company. Arteman and Associates, WCCI. Turn Studios, and I know we have Barry here, and I've got to tell you the story. Barry's been a wonderful partner for so many years. And when I saw the original design for Henri Starlite Scoops, there was this spaceship on top. And I said, okay. And they said, yeah, you got to find somebody to do the spaceship. So I flew over to New Orleans, and I had nothing in my hands except a small rendering of what it was going to be. And I sat down with him, and I said, Barry, I don't know what I need. I need a 30-foot diameter spaceship. And he said, done. And that's what came about. It's amazing. So, Barry, thank you so much. It's just no questions asked, just 30-foot diameter spaceship. We have CMEX, who donated all the block and concrete, Low Temp for the freezers and the install, Peninsula Engineering, American Panel of Ocala for a freezer, Trimark Build Group, Western Florida Lighting, City Little International Incorporated, an acoustical design consultation, quietly making noise, which was amazing. So if you would please give all of those folks a huge round. To kind of get it going, I do want to bring up the first person that I called when I had this concept in mind and said, I want to find a way to Henri and honor his legacy. And so I turned to my dear friend Joe Carinella. And I want to bring Joe Carinella because he kind of spearheaded this entire process, and have him share some remarks and tell us a little bit about how this came about. Joe.
Well, thank you, Pam. Very much appreciate being asked to join you here today. This was, as all of the experiences that you see before you, a labor of love from many, many, many people that get involved. And as Pam said, when she reached out, along with the chairman at the time, Jeff Volley of the board here, who happens to be in charge of Walt Disney World now, and he reached out and asked us to see what we could do to help come up with some ideas. And so we came up with actually 3 different ideas we like to do to try and create the best story we possibly can. I think one of them, the first one was Ice Palace, to try and celebrate a little different perspective. Another one was an ice cream manufacturing plant, so that the architecture represented what it took to generate ice cream. Because obviously it was all about trying to celebrate Henri's love of ice cream, being able to share that with the families that obviously visit. And then there was this other one that we had done some research on about Henri's experience coming to the Space Coast in the 50s and 60s, Starlite Motel. And so the third idea was what you see before us or behind me here, and that was to celebrate Henri coming to the East Coast and as she said, getting to know all of the incredible astronauts and all those behind the scenes that created the amazing space organization that NASA was generating. So when we shared those ideas, I think in your conference room and town hall, I remember all 3 of them being shared, and she paused at the end and said, "What do you all think is the best idea and notion?" And we all shared our thoughts, and she goes, "There's really a no-brainer, right? It has to be the Starlite, Henri Starlite scoop to celebrate his incredible history coming to Central Florida." So we went back and developed the idea a little bit further, and then as Pam said, we were able to join forces with Universal Creative to help bring this story to life. As you see, the spaceship, the architecture was influenced by the original Starlite Motel, and even the countdown, right, on the hardscape. And then actually our graphic designer came up with the Starlite Scoops logo and sign. So we're thrilled to have been a part of the development of this project. And as you say, I think that was late 2016 when we presented those initial ideas. And now incredible to be able to be here today and open it to you all and let you experience the Henri Starlite Scoop. So thank you.
So many people just pull out their hearts and souls, and all of that, of course, was complimentary. All of that design and the hours and hours and hours that they put into it. And I hope you all, if you haven't had a chance to go in, you'll get to experience ice cream, but see all the memorabilia on the walls. It's absolutely amazing. There's a flag in there that John Glenn took up into space when he went up on the space shuttle. It was a Give Kids the World flag, and that's in there. And then I want you to make sure that you look at, there's an original menu from the Space Coast restaurant from the Starlite Motel. And I want you to notice what it costs for a lobster dinner. It's like $1.25. We all love that. Again, but thanks, Joe. Appreciate your vision and your leadership on this project. It wouldn't have happened without you. You know, when we talk about having served 176,000 families, that's a staggering number. I mean, it really is. And there's so many more children that are out there. Roughly 28,000 children are diagnosed with a critical illness. And the one thing we never want to lose sight of is each one of those children, they're not a statistic, they're a family. They're part of a family, and they have a story. And they each have a very special story. And we're so proud today to be able to bring someone to the stage today to help us celebrate today who has a very special story. Grace Callwood, she stayed at Give Kids the World in 2013 during her treatment for stage 4 cancer. She founded her first charity, We Can Serve, at the age of 7 to help homeless, ill, and foster kids. So I want you to welcome someone who's been recognized by CNN, the CNN Heroes Young Wonder honoree, Grace Callwood.
Hello everyone, my name is Grace Holward. I'm 16 years old and I'm very happy incredibly shy as a kid. Standing up in front of the class just to say my name was terrifying, but Give Kids the World is a huge part of the reason I'm comfortable speaking to you all today. When I was 7 years old, I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Being diagnosed was very scary and confusing. I had no idea what cancer was or what it meant until I had it. I just knew that the healing process was very painful and my life changed completely. I thank God that there are thousands of organizations made to bring critically ill youth some happiness in the midst of their journeys. A couple months after I was diagnosed, I was contacted by the Make-A-Wish Foundation to start brainstorming some once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. When I realized having a sleepover with Selena Gomez was probably not an option, I picked Walt Disney as my wish. Preparing for this trip was so thrilling. My mom and I had spent so many nights looking at YouTube videos of Disney rides, but when we learned that we'd be staying at Give Kids the World, we were completely amazed. When we landed in the airport in Florida, we saw 2 women holding up a sign with the Give Kids the World logo and my name on it. And to my family's surprise, I ran up to them and hugged them. I wasn't comfortable interacting with strangers. Having cancer changed that in me, though. I had learned quickly how to talk to medical staff about my treatment and, quite honestly, if the medicine would taste bad and when I could eat again. But when I saw those ladies in the airport, I couldn't contain my excitement. The village was like nothing I'd ever seen or could have imagined. It was truly like living in a dream for me. So many beautiful colors, amazing food, friendly volunteers, and other kids who shared an unspoken bond with me. Coming back to this village every day after visiting Disney parks was like experiencing another amusement park that was created for kids just like me. Every day I explored something new. We visited in January of 2013, and even though it was cold on our trip, I had my heart set on swimming in the pool and having ice cream for breakfast. I did both. I'll never forget when it was karaoke night at the village, and I had been preparing to sing but got too shy to sign up for it. At the end of the event, when everyone had cleared out, team volunteers encouraged me to go on the stage and it encouraged me to dance. I actually did it. It was like a scene out of a movie, and I even got a participation trophy that I still have to this day. Another great part of my experience with Give Kids the World was the gift fairy. The gift fairy would place toys in my villa every day while we were out. I loved every gift the gift fairy gave me. Because I also received so many gifts from Sinai Hospital, Baltimore during my treatment, I decided to donate my Give Kids the World gifts to a local homeless shelter. This is one of the stories I always share with others about what led me to the start of my youth-led nonprofit organization, the We Conserve Movement Incorporated. The We Conserve Movement Incorporated brings happiness to homeless, sick, and foster children swiftly because we believe that happiness shouldn't have to wait. We Conserve has brought happiness to more than 23,000 homeless, sick, and foster children in 9 hospitals, 10 homeless shelters and transitional housing programs, 4 feeding ministries, 3 foster care group homes, and 3 orphanages. I am very humbled to return to the village as a team volunteer and to bring members from my all-youth board of advisors, Ashley Brockwell, Sammy Bowling, and Theo Rose, and our parents to serve with me. If we can bring half as much joy as I experienced to one critically ill child and their family, it would be the best mission trip I could ever ask for. Thank you.
I mean, seriously, to have accomplished all that, that's amazing. Dad, I saw you in the background way, so everybody knows Dad, too. And the rest of our team that came with it, raise your hand so they can see you all. Amazing, amazing work that you're doing. Thank you. And most people, they associate, when they think about Henri, they associate it with Give Kids the World, but there's so many other incredible things that Henri did. And one of them, he was the founder of the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation. And we're so blessed today to have with us a gentleman who's a retired U.S. Navy captain and former NASA astronaut, Chris Ferguson. He's a veteran of 3 space shuttle missions and served as the commander of the final shuttle mission. He logged more than 40 days in space, 5,700 hours in high-performance aircraft, and 400 carrier-arrested landings. I don't know exactly what that means, but it's very impressive. And I believe Chris is going to tell us about that. And he's attending on behalf of the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation. So Chris, if you'd come up.
I will tell you what the rest of the landing is, but I have to say, ice cream for breakfast, I can't imagine. I love this place. And Grace, that was a very inspirational story. Thank you very much. As Pam had said, my name is Chris Ferguson. I'm a retired astronaut. I retired from NASA about 10 years ago, and I went to work for the Boeing Company, not far away from here at the Kennedy Space Center, where we're working on the next generation of space shuttle to send astronauts back and forth to the International Space Station. It's been a wonderful adventure for me. I've loved every minute of it, and as Pam had said, I had the opportunity to land the final space shuttle, Atlantis, almost 10 years ago to this day. It's hard to believe it's been that long ago, but it's been an incredible ride for me, and I'd say space is in my blood. The Astronaut Scholarship Foundation has been a great partner with Give Kids the World. It's a wonderful partnership that involved Henri from early on and the early Mercury astronauts, which founded the foundation. I'm on the board of directors, and I'm proud to serve on the board of directors. Last year, the Scholarship Foundation awarded 56 scholarships to in science, technology, engineering, and math fields to the future technical leaders of this country. Not too long ago, astronaut Christina Koch was an astronaut scholar who received one of these scholarships, and she returned to the International Space Station. So these scholars go to fantastic places. Next year, we're going to up that to 60 scholarships through 44 different partner universities. And it's been a tremendous relationship between industry, the Scholarship Foundation, the wonderful donors out there, and of course the legacy of the early Mercury astronauts. Space and Give Kids the World, I think, have one thing in common, and it's hopes and dreams. For the children who come here, it's the hopes and dreams of a bright future. Space, I think, does really represent the hopes and dreams of all of, really, humanity. For those of you who remember, and probably not many of you do, back in 1969, when we landed on the moon, the entire world stopped. Many of you remember it was a very contentious time. There were wars going on. There were racial tensions, not too much unlike there is today. But for that brief period of time, a few hours, the entire world stopped. And we were all, at that moment, just one. We were all just human beings on this really cool planet, watching humanity do amazing things. Last week, some of you may have taken a moment out to see the NASA Perseverance rover land on Mars. It is amazing to me, and I've been in this business for a long time, it is amazing to me that we managed to do things like this, to take the equivalent of an automobile and send it 200 million miles into space and safely land it on another planet. Just to have it wander around out there for 2 years. For those of you who don't know enough about it, I'd encourage you to look a little bit. There's actually a helicopter stored inside this rover that is going to take off and take pictures in the thin Martian atmosphere of what the flora and the fauna look like on this desolate planet. So we're actually not only flying to these planets, we're flying from these planets. How far we have come with space exploration in the last 60 years is just absolutely astounding. Through my experience, I have a few gee-whiz moments in space, and one of them is the first time I really got an up-close and personal look at the International Space Station. Most people can't appreciate how large it is because it wasn't built here. It was really built in space. It weighs, it has about 1 million cubic feet of space inside it, and it's about 300 feet by 300 feet long. It's the brightest thing in the night sky. If you ever have a chance, I encourage you to look up. And it passes over here about once a week, shortly after dusk and shortly before dawn. That's the time you have to go out and watch it. But it's an incredible thing to see. If you know where to look, you can even see it in the daytime. The first astronauts occupied the space station over 20 years ago. Hard to believe, and it has been unbroken, continuous service by human beings from various partner nations in space ever since then. So if you just go back and look at a little bit, well, 20 years is a long time, right? About 1/3 of the global population wasn't here 20 years ago when we started all this. So a full 1/3 of you don't know what it's like to live on a planet where at least at one time somebody was not living. It's just an incredible feat if you think about it. So again, Pam, thank you very much for the kind invitation. I am looking forward to having some ice cream, and maybe I'll take some breakfast ice cream with me for tomorrow morning.
You know what we have in here? We have astronaut ice cream too.
We have
You never
astronaut ice
had
cream. That's my favorite kind.
Is it really?
It's the most famous astronaut food that astronauts do not eat in space. Probably back in the Apollo days they did, but I actually prefer the crawfish etouffee, which is like, now that is something that John Glenn did not have. But again, Pam, thank you very much, and thank you all.
We've highlighted a few folks and organizations that have helped us hit this incredible milestone today of 35 years. And as I look around, there's so many people here, whether it's volunteers or donors or partners, and I could tell a story about every face that I'm looking at right now, because then we'd be here for many, many hours. So, but there are a couple folks. We have some of Henry's family here. We have his son Greg and his daughter here, and we also have, where are they? Just give a wave here, and great-grandchildren are here to help celebrate this wonderful occasion. So thank you guys, and I know the others are watching virtually on our live stream. So thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it. Also, we have wonderful Mike Short, who served as our board chair for 12 years. Amazing. So thank you. We want to do this ribbon cutting, so if you're part of one of those organizations, please come up. And any kids that are out there, we can't have a ribbon cutting without kids. So if you want to come up here and be part of the ribbon cutting, come on up now, because we're going to need some help. And in true space fashion, we're going to have to count down from 10 to make this happen. Mr. Short, you're representing the board. Come on up here. We have a lot of kids, but I've got to trust